All right, so get ready for a deep dive into Airtel. You know them as that huge telecom company, all right? But they're making some moves that look like they're trying to become something much bigger, a full-blown digital powerhouse, you could say. You sent over some really intriguing stuff, some snippets from their recent earnings call and financial reports. And so today we're going to unpack what these reveal about where Airtel stands now, where they're headed, and what might stand in their way.
Yeah, it's quite a journey they're on. From the documents that you shared, it's clear they're not just thinking about phone calls and data plans anymore. They're looking at cloud services, financial technology, even data centers, aiming for a slice of all these rapidly expanding digital pies.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just talk. They're putting their money where their mouth is. But first, let's get a handle on their core businesses. Mobile is still their bread and butter, right?
Absolutely, and they're still dominating that market. But the documents also highlight the challenges: intense price competition in India, a constant need to improve profitability. It's like they're walking a tightrope, needing to raise tariffs but also keep customers happy.
And I see they're going all in on 5G rollout, but it's not as simple as flipping a switch, is it?
Not at all. The earnings call transcript reveals a very deliberate strategic approach to deploying standalone 5G. They're focusing on specific areas for now, like fixed wireless access and enterprise solutions, where they can maximize its unique capabilities. Think lightning-fast speeds, near-instant responses, the kind of network performance that enables truly futuristic applications.
That makes sense. But they're not putting all their eggs in the 5G basket, are they? Their home broadband segment is booming.
That's right. Their broadband expansion is impressive, a blend of fiber optics for those urban areas and fixed wireless to quickly reach more remote customers. And it's not just about the connections. They're bundling broadband with other services to create what they call sticky customers, less likely to switch providers. It's about weaving a web of services that keeps people coming back for more.
So they're solidifying their base.
Yeah.
But what about new frontiers? The B2B space seems to be where the real excitement is brewing.
And it's a smart move. They're already a trusted name in the Indian market, with a vast customer base, robust data infrastructure, and the financial muscle to compete. They're leveraging all of that to push into cloud computing, security solutions, and the Internet of Things. It's like they're building a digital ecosystem for businesses to thrive in.
It's fascinating how they're weaving all these threads together. But stepping back for a moment, what's the overall industry outlook like? They're facing some serious competition, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Indian telecom market is a battleground. Low average revenue per user puts constant pressure on everyone. Airtel's pushing for tariff increases. But as we saw in the earnings call, that's a delicate dance. You don't want to scare away price-sensitive customers.
And on top of the competition, there's the regulatory landscape to navigate. That can change the game overnight.
It's a constant tightrope walk. The telecom sector is heavily regulated, and any new policy could drastically reshape Airtel's path forward. They need to be adaptable, always anticipating the next regulatory curveball.
It sounds like they're playing 4D chess with all these moving pieces. But beyond the big picture, are there any specific details from the earnings call that jumped out at you?
There are a few, actually. One thing that caught my eye was their emphasis on what they call quality customers, attracting and retaining those who are likely to spend more on higher tier plans and services.
So it's not just about the sheer number of subscribers. It's about cultivating a customer base that's invested in the Airtel ecosystem. Smart move?
Exactly. They're moving away from that race to the bottom. That can plague industries like telecom,
Right.
where everyone slashes prices to gain market share. Airtel seems to be focusing on providing a premium experience that justifies a higher price tag.
And they're leaning heavily on data to do that. I was blown away by the mention of their AI algorithms analyzing 1 trillion records per day.
Yeah.
What are they doing with all that information?
Well, one example they highlighted was their AI-powered spam detection solution. Think about it. Their network processes 1 trillion records daily, and they're using that to identify and block potential spam calls before you even answer. They claim it's already making a significant dent in spam volume.
That's a win for everyone. I think we've all been on the receiving end of those annoying calls. But it also hints at a much bigger picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If they can tackle spam with that level of data analysis, what else is possible?
It's about personalization at scale. They're using data not just to block unwanted calls, but to understand your usage patterns, predict your needs, and tailor offers and services that are truly relevant to you. It's about making you feel like a valued individual, not just another number in their subscriber base.
And it sounds like they're applying that same data-driven approach to their operations as well. They mentioned a significant reduction in diesel consumption. even while expanding their network infrastructure.
That's right. They're not just focused on growth. They're committed to sustainability and operational efficiency. It speaks to a well-managed organization that's constantly looking for ways to optimize and do more with less.
Which then frees up resources to invest in those exciting new ventures we talked about. Speaking of which, how is Airtel Finance shaping up? It feels like they're quietly building a formidable presence in the financial services sector.
They're tapping into a vast and underserved market. The documents you shared reveal that millions of Indians are still unbanked or underbanked. Airtel has the brand recognition, the trust, and the reach to bridge that gap with innovative financial products.
It's a natural extension of their existing services. Yeah. People already trust them with their communication needs, so why not their financial needs as well?
Exactly. And their payments bank is already showing strong growth in both users and revenue. They're building a complete ecosystem around digital payments, capitalizing on the massive shift towards online transactions happening across India. They're even investing heavily in data centers through their Nextra business, recognizing the crucial role they play in a cloud-centric world.
It's like they're building a digital empire brick by digital brick. They have the mobile network for connectivity, the data centers for storage and processing power, and these platforms for delivering a wide array of services, both to individuals and businesses.
It's a compelling vision, but as we've discussed, the path is fraught with challenges. Can they really juggle all these initiatives, navigate the competitive landscape, and emerge as a leader in this new digital era?
That's the million-dollar question. But what's encouraging is that they're not just throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks. They're approaching this strategically, leveraging their existing strengths and focusing on long-term value creation.
And they're not afraid to collaborate. The earnings call mentioned partnerships with companies like Zscaler for security and Sparkle for submarine cable capacity. It shows a maturity and willingness to work with others to accelerate their progress.
It does seem like they're playing in a different league now, but it's still early days, right?
It is. The competition is fierce, and success is far from guaranteed. But Airtel's journey is going to be fascinating to watch.
Speaking of the journey, let's talk about what the road ahead might look like for them. What's your take on their future outlook?
Well, from everything we've seen, Airtel's leadership is very clear about one thing. They're not just a connectivity provider anymore. They want to become a full-fledged digital services platform.
Oh, wow. So one-stop shop for all your digital needs. That's a bold ambition.
It is. But they're already laying the groundwork. They've got the mobile network, the broadband infrastructure, the data centers, and now they're building out this suite of digital services on top of it all. Airtel Finance, their cloud offerings, even their move into security solutions, it's all starting to come together.
It's like they're assembling the pieces of a digital puzzle. But what will that finished picture look like? I mean, imagine your Airtel account isn't just for paying your phone bill anymore. It's managing your finances, securing your devices, even powering your business. That's quite a leap.
It is, and there are some big questions about whether they can pull it off. One of the things I'll be watching closely is how they navigate the regulatory landscape. India's telecom sector is heavily regulated, and any changes could impact their ability to expand into these new areas.
Yeah, it's a high-stakes game. They'll need to be politically savvy and build strong relationships to make sure those regulations work in their favor.
Absolutely. And even with a favorable regulatory environment, they still need to execute flawlessly on their strategy, investing wisely, attracting the best talent, staying ahead of the innovation curve. It's a tall order.
Yeah, they're going to need a strong captain at the helm to steer this ship through those uncharted waters. Speaking of which, it's interesting that Gopal Vittal is stepping down as CEO to focus specifically on these new growth areas.
Yeah, that's a very telling move. It signals just how seriously they're taking this digital transformation. It's almost like they're creating a separate powerhouse within the company to focus solely on building this digital empire. Right. And they've chosen someone with a proven track record to lead it.
It shows they're not just dipping their toes in the water. They're diving headfirst into the digital deep end. Yeah. But let's not forget about the competition. Jio is a formidable rival.
Yeah.
And they're not standing still.
True competition is healthy, though. It keeps everyone on their toes. We can expect some very exciting developments in the Indian telecom and digital services market as these giants go head-to-head.
Yeah, it'll be a battle of the titans. And I have a feeling the consumers will be the ultimate winners. More choices, better services, and hopefully lower prices as they fight for our attention.
That's the ideal outcome. But it's still a long game, and we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. Airtel is at a crossroads, a dominant force in telecom. but with their sights set on becoming so much more.
Yeah, they're taking a bold leap into the digital arena, and it's going to be fascinating to watch their journey unfold.
There will be challenges, no doubt,
Right.
but the potential is enormous. We'll
Yeah.
be keeping a close eye on their progress, and we encourage you to do the same.
This deep dive only scratched the surface. Think about the potential applications of these technologies in your own life and work. It's a future worth pondering.
Airtel is definitely a company to watch. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.